Welcome to Connect to Success with Ashley Owens on RVN TV, where we talk to the Greater Philadelphia wow, good morning. Coffee.
Good morning.
Jesus. Where we talk to the group's power networkers in the Greater Philadelphia and South Jersey area. I have the pleasure and the privilege to be able to talk to Tim Walters of Sabre Systems.
Yes.
Well, it's not even an interview, like at the end of the day.
We're
With
just
you.
chatting.
Well, Tim and I have been part of the same mastermind group for the past 4 years, 4 years, two years. That's
2
how long
years,
it's been
probably,
part of?
yeah.
So you run in the same circles with Matt Blatz from PCS and all those guys, and Stephen Goodman, who's also on the show. So it's about time I got you on.
Yeah.
Sorry for that.
Thanks for having me. No, this is great.
So Tim, why don't you tell people about who you are, what you do, and what makes you awesome?
Awesome. All right, cool.
Yeah.
Tim Walters. I'm with Sabre Systems. I run sales for our commercial division over there. But really, background on myself, I'm a family guy. I have 2 very young kids.
How old are your kids?
Almost 5 and 2.
This is really bad. I didn't know that.
No, that's all right.
5 and 2?
Yeah, so similar to Matt, actually.
Oh, yeah.
Right. So basically 5 and 2. They both have, I have 2 birthdays coming up right around Christmas. So it's good
gosh.
timing.
Okay,
Yeah.
so how do you handle that? And I'm asking because my sister and my dad both have birthdays around Christmas
Really?
time, and it was like
It's hard.
just people wanted to kill each other.
Right,
'Cause the
exactly.
gifts are always the same. Oh, it's for Christmas and birthday.
Yes.
It's never, different.
Well, you have to budget it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and you have to space it out because my wife's birthday was yesterday, actually.
wow.
So I got to make sure I don't get hurt too much because I still have to get her some stuff for Christmas too.
Yep,
And
yep.
then the kids, his birthday is in the beginning of December, so it's something small and then a birthday party.
Oh my God.
But then Christmas rolls around 2 weeks after that. And then another thing that we do around the holidays, which is perfect timing, is my wife goes to Disney World every January
By yourself?
with her family, and I try to get out of it as much as I possibly can.
Dude, okay, so I feel like January is a good time to go.
It
because
is.
It's not so hot
Yep.
and sticky.
It's a great time to go.
Yeah.
It's not great for a budget, but it's a great time to go because, and school's back in session too. So for a lot of kids and a lot of families, they don't go in January. But her and her brothers all run in the Disney Marathon every January.
I heard about that.
So they go, so that's 2 weeks after Christmas.
Well, you did a marathon recently with Adam Horning, right?
A triathlon.
A triathlon.
Yes.
Jesus Christ. What? So you don't swim?
No, I don't swim, run, or bike.
Jesus Christ. Dude, so what did you do? How did you train for that?
So I trained for it. I joined the gym.
Like 2 weeks
watched
before?
some YouTube videos on how to swim. and that's really what I did.
Oh my
and like,
God.
it's not like I wasn't going to go out there, well, at the time I thought it, but I didn't think I was going to go out in the pool and drown really. But
Yeah.
I at least have some fundamentals, but I never swam in high school or anything.
Yeah.
So I watched some YouTube videos on how to do long distances and try to maintain your breathing.
No kidding.
And I don't have a bike, so I just did spin class.
Wow.
And I ran on a treadmill. And then I borrowed a bike for the day of the race. So.
Oh my God. All right. Well, you can definitely run things quickly and efficiently when
Right.
your blood pressure is down.
There you go.
Okay,
Yeah.
so in your business or in the business that you work for, Sabre Systems, obviously people know the name. You guys are everywhere. You sponsor a lot of events. You guys are the top of your class in IT. So tell more people about who they are and what they do.
Yeah, sure. So Sabre Systems as a company has been around for about 30 years, and the focus has always been in IT. And now there's millions of IT companies out there, but what we really focus on is cybersecurity, software development, SharePoint services, and really like modernizing the IT for organizations. And for the life of the company, up until about 2 years ago, we've only really been a federal government contractor. So we have some really cool contracts with Navy Air, Airforce, Census Bureau. So some really big contracts on the government side.
Yeah.
And so we take that expertise and what we've learned working with process and security and things like that from the government side and sell it now to the commercial world.
Did you guys do anything fun for Veterans Day?
Well, I'm trying to think if we did anything. As a company, we
Because you guys are an
now that I
active-
thought about it. No, we're very involved.
Super
Yeah.
active.
We're 32% veteran employed.
No kidding.
Yep, and our and minority-owned business, and then our president and COO is an ex-naval commander too.
No kidding.
Yeah.
So I run you remember GPVN, right? Greater Philadelphia
Yeah.
Veterans Network. So they run their operations, and like Sabre has been a huge advocate of that veteran community. So what do you guys have planned for the holidays? I mean, I know Sabre's kind of going into, is the fourth quarter, right? So what's your focus right now?
So fourth quarter's hard, right?
Yeah,
so because really it ends December 15th.
No kidding.
Pretty much, because that's when everybody starts for Christmas and everything. So it is also
checked out.
right, yeah, and they're all checked out, yeah. So it's my personal focus is well, first of all, it's gala season in terms of networking. So knowing that I need to not hit every gala and all that stuff, we have another event tonight. So there are a lot of good events at this time of the year too. But really, I focus the closing business, but also taking out existing customers to lunch or dinner or something, just as a thank you for the year, for the business and stuff like that. Because they're at least, they'll answer your call in the fourth quarter. Right.
They're like, yes, I would like a meal, thank you.
Exactly, yes.
Well, that's great. So so you know, as part of your own network, you have been a power networker for as long as I've known you, just because you're never the sales guy. It's never, that's not your personality. I think you're also very in tune with how people are and in tune with what they need, so that they're what they buy emotionally, right?
Right.
So who are your strategic partners right now? Who do you typically work and share clients with?
Right, so our strategic partners on the software side of things are definitely other managed service providers. So the other companies out there that are doing IT work that isn't the IT work that we're doing. They're phenomenal partners for us, and that's who I really try to stay close to with networking events and just one-on-ones. And then also on the cybersecurity side of things, great partners for us are property and casualty brokers.
Why? That's confusing to me.
No, right. It was when I first looked into it too. So there is cybersecurity insurance now, and it's it's a big industry, and it's a new industry. Really, where they're all still learning on how to quote cybersecurity. So they'll work with cybersecurity technology companies. Who will go out and do risk assessments and tell them what we feel the vulnerabilities are of that company, and then they'll quote the policies based off of that.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, you don't think with a technology company, you don't think insurance brokers are good partners, but.
So how important is cybersecurity to your clients?
Oh, it's very important today.
Wow.
So a lot of what we do, two things there. There's the government customers, right, which I think security is probably obvious for the Department of Defense. That's literally what they do. So we run security operations centers for the Department of Defense and for the Airforce and Navy Air. There's some cyber components too. For that, it's cybersecurity, and it's actual, what do they call it, nation states, right? So China, folks that are literally trying to breach the United States for information. Now, I don't have.
Do you know the numbers on that, or the statistics behind that are shocking and scary? And
I know a lot of statistics in the small business world that are shocking.
Let's talk about that. Those are fun.
So the biggest one to think about in the small business world, because that's really where the commercial side is focusing too for cybersecurity, is 60% of small businesses go out of business within 6 months of a cyber attack. Right, so that's a scary fact, because because a lot of the times now it's what's called ransomware, which is they're going to ask for either Bitcoin or they're going to ask for actual money. And if you're a small business, you can't afford a $10,000 check that you need to write to some guy who's just kind of playing a prank.
So ransomware, explain what that is, and I'm trying to dumb it down so everybody can understand what that means.
So ransomware is a hacker successfully engages your network and basically encrypts your network and puts up a sign, however he wants to put the sign. Sometimes they put little skulls in the corner to be creative and things like that. And it says you're literally being held ransom. You must pay $10,000. You must pay in Bitcoin, and we'll unencrypt your network and we'll give you back your information. So they're basically they have their data, they have their files, their documents, and then they encrypt it so the actual company can't log back in.
And what about like solopreneurs and entrepreneurs? Because I'm thinking about myself right now.
Yeah.
Because if I say I use like Google Mail,
which is,
I mean, I'm sure Google has cybersecurity, but like, what is the?
And it's the appetite of the company too. So it has to fit.
Put everything on a hard drive.
Right.
Good.
Yeah.
Take note.
Yeah. You're a solopreneur or entrepreneur, whatever you want to call it. You're not going to buy this full-blown security solution. So really, honestly, one of the best things you could do is just enable two-factor authentication. Yep.
Son of a gun.
So if you're using Google or you're using Microsoft for Office 365, like either one of them, you can pretty easily do two-factor authentication where it just sends you a text message and then you log in. And obviously passwords are a big thing too.
Yeah, and LastPass, would you suggest using LastPass?
I use LastPass.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I do. I think it's pretty good too.
Yeah.
It's one of the best ones out there, and it's good. I mean, it's tough to say on your mobile device is hard.
Yep.
Because your passwords,
I'm
it logs
getting
you right
anxious thinking about that right now.
Right,
Yeah,
exactly. And
well,
it's your business.
Well,
so you should
perfect.
be. Right.
When we come back, after I go check my phone, we'll come back and we'll talk to Tim about his practical tips and tactical takeaways in the networking space and how to save all of my files from being deleted and or encrypted by scary hackers. So we'll see you when we return.
For a free, no obligation Medicare benefits consultation, 856-226-4800.
Boardwalks built for fun. Legendary rock and roll clubs.
This is how we do it. Hippity hop.
Casinos by the ocean.
Hippity hop.
Now that's New Jersey. 130 miles of beautiful beaches. Solid rock. And everything in between.
Look in the window.
Now that's New Jersey.
Burlington County College.
Is now Rowan College of Burlington County.
Still the same great faculty.
At a community college ranked top 50 in the nation.
Basically, we earn more and pay less.
RCBC students are accepted at Rowan University after graduation.
And get a bachelor's degree for around $30,000.
Online and Mount Laurel students get a 15% Rowan University tuition discount.
And many scholarship opportunities.
So you earn more and pay even less.
Rowan College of Burlington County.
Your path to success.
They are the greatest fighting force the world has ever seen. But what does it take to strengthen our service members? What does it take to let them know that we stand behind them, wherever they are? What does it take to bridge the distance and keep them connected to family, home, and country? And what does it take to prepare them for their future when their service to the nation is complete? What does it take to strengthen our service members so they can be the greatest force for good in the world? It takes a force. Be a force behind the forces. Share a message today at force.uso.org.
I want to be a contender. I want a warm belly to sleep on.
A big house. How do I look? Do I look good?
I want to play hard.
My nails done once a month.
I want
a home. I just want a home. I want someone to love.
Last year, more than 30,000 companion animals came to us without homes. 20,000 of them were felines. Let's make some homes together.
Welcome back to Connect to Success with me, Ashley Owens, on RVN TV. I have a lovely and talented, beautiful looking human being here. His name is Tim Walters from Sabre Systems. You're welcome. So we were talking about beforehand, before the break, about your awesome family, about how your kids will never understand one gift during the holidays, and how everybody should be scared.
Yeah, there you go.
When it comes to technology and cybersecurity. So there was one point we made actually during the break that I would love for you to tell people about, like how when people access your system, it's not you that they're trying to access. Can you explain a little bit about that?
Yeah, absolutely. So what we talked about really is a lot of people are thinking, why me? Like, why would they come or breach me or my records? I'm just an office manager. It's not you that they're worried about. It's the access that you have, really that they're trying to get in through you to then branch off throughout either your company or your vendors that you work with.
And that's what happened with Target.
That's what happened with Target. Yeah, the Target hack was a small HVAC company, a small business, probably 12 employees, something like that, where they had the refrigeration unit for one Target store, and they had access to the POS system of Target, and they got in because someone clicked the email that they shouldn't have clicked, and boom.
So I know this is bad. This just makes me want to go to Target.
Yeah.
I actually need something for tonight's event.
Speaking of budgeting,
The
yes,
worst.
Target is impossible.
Oh my gosh, has your wife gone to Target yet for the holidays?
Today or
Just in general.
Yeah, yeah, probably.
Oh my gosh.
I'm sure.
So Alex and I, my husband Alex and I, we are going to, for people who don't know, I have a husband, his name's Alex, and he looks like Ron Burgundy. So, so we're getting a Christmas tree.
Okay.
It's the first time we get our own little Christmas tree, and I don't think he realizes. He's like, we have ornaments from like last year. I'm like, where do we put the ornaments? On like a mantelpiece? He doesn't realize that this is a experience.
Wow.
So I am gonna go buy a tree, and
Oh,
I was
cool.
like, the only way for it to work is if one of us is yelling at the other.
Yeah.
There's too many pine needles on the ground,
Yes.
and somebody wants to divorce the other. Like
Right.
it's never a nice experience.
Yeah, it isn't. No, I still regret like when my mom used to be like, "All right, it's time to go get the tree and decorate the tree." And
It's like
I'd be
Sunday morning, like 8:30 in the
right.
morning, and you're like, forget it, it's cold.
Yeah, well, that sounds fun though.
I'm excited.
Yeah.
I can't wait for it to like go south because that's
Right.
the only way I know it for it to be
Right,
to make
exactly.
it work. Yeah.
That's the holidays.
Oh, I can't wait. I can't wait. He has no idea. It's like, this is supposed to be nice. I'm like, it's fine. This is normal. All right, so going back to professional things, this is a professional show.
Yeah.
So let's talk about networking. So what is your typical style with networking? I mean, you're an extrovert in a way, but then you also have introverted qualities, which are awesome as well. So there's, again, when I talk about introvert and extroversion, there's no wrong way. It's just the way that works for you. So I noticed, as you and I are friends, that you're very, very good at reading other people, and you're also even better working one-on-one. So you can go into an environment and talk to a lot of different people, but you also are more prominent with the one-on-one situation. So you have kind of like the best of both worlds, where you don't lose energy going to an event. I mean, you get tired, but you don't have to crash for 2 days afterwards.
Right.
Yeah, you can still do and still go, but the most value you get out is out of the one-on-one. Is that correct?
That's spot on. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good observation. And yeah, right. And I'm actually glad that that's how I come off, because I genuinely. So, just to rewind a little bit, I was a psychology major in college.
No kidding.
So I love the one-on-one.
Oh,
right,
dude.
and that was like my grand thoughts when I was in college, was I was going to have my own practice and just talk to people, because that's what I love doing, really. But then I looked at school and how much that cost, and I was like, no way. What can I do where I can talk to people and make some money? And that's why I got into sales. So that's really the approach I take to networking too. Is I'm not the one to go around the room. Like it's just really not my skill set to go around the room and hit every single person, ask them what they do, move on to the next. Ask them I really try to genuinely try to spend time one-on-one with someone, either at the event or grab coffee another time, and get to know more about like them as a person, really. Because then you can really help them out. Yeah. And you know what they like.
What is your goal at networking events? So do you have little goals that you have before you go in? What are your goals?
I do have goals. And being a family guy who is out 2 or 3 times a week, you have to have goals. So I actually I actually like will consciously tell myself what my goals are for that event. Like, so I'll sit even before I walk in or in my car or on the train or whatever. Like, all right, you're missing family time. You need to make this worth it. Because Sabre sponsors so much, I actually get guest lists to a lot of events. So I'm a big fan of looking at the guest list of who's going to be there and finding some strategic partners that I can meet.
Nice.
And really, my goal is to get in there initially, right away, and talk to somebody that I don't know. So find somebody that I don't know, first person, just to get into the flow. So that way you're talking, you're listening, and then you can move on from there. If the conversation isn't great, you go find somebody that you were trying to look for or something like that. But my goals are always to either find a list of some people that I can meet or try to find a strategic partner somehow.
And you're out so much, so we do run in the same people often. So sometimes that first initial conversation is getting warmed up with those guys, and then or those women, and also having them introduce you to some other people, which ends up being, which was so great about our mastermind group, is the fact that we can do that for each other. Like, you're going to an event tonight, you said you didn't really know anybody that was going to be there. That's an awesome challenge. I'm going to an event tonight where I don't know the majority, but I know some sprinkles of people that we know. So I think the benefit of what you do is like you know what you're doing, you're trying to make it the best use of your time. What is your goal when you chat with somebody? So like you meet somebody new and you've never met them before, and you're going through the motions of having that conversation. What is your ultimate goal? What makes it a success for you?
Yeah. That's a great question.
Sorry. I should have prepped you. I'm sorry.
No, that's fine. Honestly, I think my goal is to probably business-wise, because like I said, I'm out. I could be home with my family. So I want that goal to be, all right, how can we strategically work together? Because my end buyer does not go to networking
No, they do not.
They're IT people, they're security people, they're not at networking events. So my goal is, all right, how can I make this a strategic partnership with this guy or gal who I'm chatting with right now? So really, I want to know who their end customer is and who their partners are. That's
Maybe
really
who
my
you
goal.
can share clients with.
And who we can share clients with. Absolutely. Yeah, how I can help them, really. Because I'm a big fan of Giving First and The Go-Giver, and it's a great book and all that stuff. So you gotta.
Steve Goodman.
Right. Yeah. We all learn from those guys. Yes.
Steve's the best. He's right. I read it and I was like, oh, okay. You're right.
You get it.
I
right.
read.
Yeah. So yeah, that's of course the goal is how can you share leads or introductions for them.
And I think that because you're such an active networker and you also are very cognizant of the people that you meet, even if they can't help you, you are like, you know what, I might be able to introduce you to somebody who actually need to chat with. And so it ends up being like you never leave a conversation without helping them. Most times, the majority of the time.
Absolutely.
So that ends up, I find that to be the definition of a power networker, is that you never leave somebody without something. And that is a huge benefit of what the Go-Giver talks about, is about always being a giver. And then it comes back. I mean, I know, as an example, I started my business last year from August to December. I don't think you guys even really knew what I did yet. All I did was go out to nobody knew.
Right.
And that was fine. Like the goal was like, what is Ashley doing? We'll chat with her. And so from August to December, all I did was give referrals. That's it. All I did was refer people and say who you're looking to meet. And I would go to so many events that I would start connecting those people without asking for anything. And so what ended up happening is I haven't had to network for myself since January because it was almost a year. It just kept coming back. And so utilizing that practice in doing every single time I have a conversation with somebody on the phone, I'm at an event, I'm always taking notes, because at the end of the day, I know it's going to come back as far as people are going to come to me for something.
That's awesome.
And if I can't help them or they can't be a client, I know that they'll come to an event that I have, or they'll provide resources for a friend that builds up that engagement with the other champions in my network. So it just ends up becoming this like ecosystem that people are always happy and they always leave with something.
Yeah. That's spot on, right? And that's a great approach too, because you're actively looking to give right away, and then who knows, an introduction that you made for them might have changed their business and things like that, and then they're forever indebted to go to all your events.
Yes, they are. That's what I recommend.
Exactly.
Yeah, and you hear these stories, and what sometimes is crazy and weird is that, have you ever had somebody call you up or referred you like months later since you've met them?
Just happened last week.
Really?
I had a guy who I met for 5 minutes, and somehow we got talking about SharePoint, which is something that Sabre does. And it was at an event, and he stopped by our booth, and I told him real quick what we did, and he told me real quick what he did, and he was like, I might be able to have something for you. Honestly, I forgot the guy's name, the guy's name and everything. He called me 3 months later. I was like, I have a great opportunity. And we're in. We are in.
And that happens. That doesn't happen rarely.
No,
it happens often. It happens enough where you recognize that it's working what you're doing, like your approach is working.
Yeah.
And just having the same, practice of giving ends up being a bunch of people who think that they owe you a good referral.
Absolutely.
But people also don't really give a crap what you do. They care how you make them feel.
Exactly. That's
like,
true.
Nobody really cares about what you do.
No.
Nobody cares.
Everybody,
and you're in a heavily saturated market. Like, how do you guys stand out? You do it because you're you. I found that to be fantastic.
You have to be, right? Yeah.
So what are your tactical tips and practical takeaways? And that could be like, okay, going into an event, what your follow-up process is, like what to do and what not to do. Like what irks you? So if someone wants to be your strategic partner, what would say, yes, let's jump into it, and what would you say, no? Please stay away and go to the bar.
So this could go against the grain a little bit.
I love it.
But what I'm not a fan of is, hey, what do you do?
There it is.
Hi, what do you do?
Yeah.
For me, I'm immediately, I'm immediately like, I don't know if it's going to work out, right? So And I don't know. I mean, I know that you have to make the best use of your time, so I get why they do that. But but that's one thing that I'm not a fan of.
What would you suggest I say instead?
What brings you here?
Ah, there it is. Yay, you win the gold star.
That's great.
Yeah, what brings you here today?
Right, what brings you here today? That's what I always lead with.
Perfect.
Yes. So that way it's still relevant to why you guys are there.
Yeah.
And what I'll do is I will try to follow up as soon as I possibly can.
Yeah, we'll talk about that.
Yeah. that part stuff.
I know, but you do use a CRM system. You do
Yep.
have the benefit behind it, and you're also very custom when it comes to that stuff. So
Right, absolutely.
Super awesome.
Yeah, we got a nice flow going, and and if you can get a guest list of who's going to be there, that's also a nice.
Yeah, those are
nice
super
trick.
important. I think that's just more of a strategic move, and because you guys are such a well-renowned company, you do have access to a lot of these networking groups that are very established. So it's good to have those kind of robust groups, the executive leadership team that's there, and that way the people that you do want to chat with are in the room.
Right, exactly.
So,
Yes.
my friend, if you don't
right.
mind looking into this camera and telling
Okay.
people where they can find you.
All right. So yeah, it's sabresystems.com. Sabresystems.com, and then our commercial website is sabreonpoint.com.
And what is your email address and your social security number?
And this is a cyber discussion. So email address is twalters@sabresystems.com, and it's SABRESYSYTS.
Yep.
We butchered
Systems.
that. Systems.com.
You're good at cybersecurity, but not at
Yes, but
spelling.
not
bee?
spelling.
So happy.
That's great.
Awesome. Well, everybody, thank you very much for joining me on Connect to Success with me, Ashley Owens, on RVGN TV during your lunch break. Stay tuned next week where we talk to the Power Networkers with their practical tips and tactical takeaways. If I don't see you, have a happy Thanksgiving. Thanks. Bye-bye.